Hey, welcome back. So, I made a discovery today, and it was something that it was always there in front of me, but I never really saw it. So, having low self esteem is what literally allows you to understand people who are narcissists or gangstalkers. So, when someone has a low self-esteem or a self-confidence that isn't from within, that it is a self-confidence that comes from your possessions, from awards, from outside sources, that from how do you say it, that what's that word, um well, when your self-confidence is not about values, about who you are, about what you can do, when your self-worth is solely based on how others perceive you, it becomes your self-perception becomes very volatile, because depending on who's around you is what's going to dictate how you feel about yourself. For example, if I am an athlete, let's say, and let's just say that I'm the best Olympic lifter in town. Yet when I go into the Olympics, or into some competition, I meet others who are like really, 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 really good. So, like beyond like Olympians. So if who I am, if my self-worth is solely based on what I can do as an athlete, when I'm in town, when I'm surrounded by people who do not have that skill, my self-confidence is gonna be to the roof, right? But when I go to a meet where I get to meet people that are out of town, that are like Olympians, that have been doing this type of training since when they were like 2 years old or whatever, then my self-confidence will just low. It will just be super low, because what I consider, what I see, the because what my value, my coin is, I get it from being better than everyone else at a sport. But when I'm surrounded by people who are better than me at the sport where that I get my self-confidence from, that would literally just make me feel like trash, literally. So with that's one thing that I have noticed with gang stalkers. So when I have been hanging out with a gang stalker, in my most recent one, I met a guy that was completely bald, and he had just gotten surgery because apparently he had like some cancerous growths just removed. And I'm letting my hair grow, and all my teeth are mine. So then this person literally, when I took my hat off, he looked at my hair. I have like a lot of hair. I have grace. I mean, I'm 37. So but he just literally saw like how much hair I had, and I could feel his energy change. Like his face was just like, ugh. Like it was just filled with like disappointment. Like it was threatening to him. Then I smiled. This is gonna be really crazy. So I smiled, and then he literally, almost like if it was some type of fucking animal, he just grabbed my cheeks like that and kind of spread my mouth open, and then just literally like looked at my teeth. And then again I saw like the ugh. So then we began making out, and he literally with his tongue began trying to feel my teeth to see if they were mine, to check for cavities or whatever. It was something so absurd that it was just unbelievable. I should have taken that into consideration. I should have just left immediately. But I didn't, because I didn't have enough. I didn't know enough about what was happening, so I didn't have any type of. I wasn't able to analyze it correctly. Like I was high. I had been out for 3 days. Next time, whenever that happens, if it does, I'm just gonna leave immediately. But After that, his entire behavior towards me changed. So this person's oh yeah, so this person lives in an amazing, incredible apartment, and you could tell that he was just so proud of it, And me, living here, I don't care. Wherever you have, to me, literally means nothing because I don't have that goal in mind. My goal is something completely distinct. It's pretty much to my self-worth is based. I got it from what I have done, from my experiences, what I have dealt with, and what I have overcome. And these people's self-worth comes from money, from how others perceive them. So anything that you have, even your personality, that they don't have, they're gonna perceive it as a threat, which immediately makes them antagonistic to you. So that is one thing that I have noticed that a lot of TIs have in common, is that we value ourselves from what we are. Our worth is from who we are, for what we have done, what we have dealt with. Honestly, I am extremely proud to have dealt all this time with gangstalking and still be here, still have goals in mind, and now actually, powering through addiction and dealing with what I have in front of me, and being able to turn the tables and make and transmutate all that negative energy into something that is benefiting someone. That is making me truly happy. And regardless, if you compare me to someone who has always had everything, I'm not gonna try to find an excuse of why I'm still better than him. My goal is to be better than I was before. And I don't have control over what life throws at me. I have control about how I respond to it. And when I see myself in the mirror, I do not see the failures that I have had. I have read this book called Super Achiever by Dr. John Elliott. It's an incredible book. I highly recommend it. And he says, oh, I have so much to tell you about that book too. We're gonna probably go and read it, but that's gonna come at another time. Oh, I'm so excited to tell you about that. But he tells you have to have a short memory for losses and even a shorter memory for victories. Why? Because when you win something, if you start feeling like, since you have a track record of always winning, you're gonna stop trying to improve. So your confidence should always be there, even when you have nothing to show for it. He says that imagine if, in order for you to be confident, you had to have like an award on something before you could be confident. That you had to have your build-up, you had to pay your dues. But imagine, before there was any type of NFL winner, if that was an actual sport where it wasn't pre-selected, now it's apparently an entertainment company. Or not WE, what a bad example. Let's say like baseball or whatever. So somewhere where the actual merit is given to the ones who actually win by tenacity, by skill. And if you had to be able to win something like that before you were able to consider yourself confident, then that would literally just pretty much eliminate so many people. And it would be impossible to be confident, because you don't start confident. Or at least according to people who think that way, you shouldn't. But like Dr. John Elliott says, you have to wear Ray-Bans to the office. Like your self-confidence comes from within. It comes from what you can do. You don't base your self-worth on whatever everyone else's have. So as a TI, I have this thing where I don't give an F what you do. I mean, I do, but I will never compare myself to you in any way, shape, or form. I will admire it, and if you work hard for something, regardless if you are a narcissist, regardless if you are a a gang stalker, I give merit and talent where or skill where it's due. Like if you're skilled but you're an asshole, you're still skilled, and I respect that. But when there's someone somewhere that is more skilled than I am at whatever it is that I do, I try to learn from it, and I don't take it like if it was a punch to my self-confidence, because having the ability to not get defensive and and having your mind open in order to be able to learn more. Now, that is what is worth a lot of respect. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. Both are equally important. But this is the one thing that I have seen that most gang stalkers or narcissists have in common. It is where their self-worth is solely based on how they think that others perceive them. That's why their appearance, everything about them is about perception. Which actually, it's kind of amazing how everything fits together, don't you think? How they pretty much are all protecting the perception, how others perceive them, because they know that perception is reality, but there's so much that goes behind it. So, what kind of person are you? Do you feel that your self-worth fluctuates depending on who's around you? Do you feel that people that might be better skilled at something, that have more money than you, are better than you? You shouldn't think that way, because you have your own talents, you have your skills, you have some experiences that no one else is gonna ever live. And you should wear Ray-Bans to the office. You should wear Ray-Bans to the toilet if you can, wherever, it doesn't matter. Just you wear your confidence 24/7 at all times. And for a while, when the way I came to this conclusion, because in order for me to be able to get gang stalked, my self-esteem had to be low. That's exactly why whenever I met someone and he was competitive towards me, like one time I was a trainer at LA Fitness, and this guy was literally like, I had everything, when I was working there. Like I was booked. I was the most booked personal trainer. I had everything to show for it. I was even on television. And this guy came up to me and he was just like, can I have what's your Instagram? And then, I gave him my Instagram, and he was like, well, you have I don't know how many followers, but you follow more than twice your followers. And I immediately competing with myself, competing with me. But I had a client with me next to me watching that, and because my intention of Instagram was just to promote health and wellness and skill. But my intention was never to be popular or to show off myself, even though I did like to, show what I can do. But it was never because I depend solely on others' opinion of me for me to have my self-confidence. It's never about that with me. But this person immediately felt threatened by me and began immediately comparing whatever he could to me. And my client, when he left, when the other guy did, the competitive guy left, my client was like, you didn't notice? I was like, what are you talking about? He was trying to be competitive with you. He was competitive. I was like, oh, I didn't even see it. And then later, when I began to understand more about narcissists, I began to understand, so when your self-confidence is only based on who you are, and you have no intention, no drive, not even the idea of comparing yourself to someone else to make yourself feel better, because your self-confidence is completely intrinsic, you are not going to catch any of these indirects, any of this underhanded insults dressed as compliments. You're never going to be seen. You're not going to notice this, because you are just you, and you are going to be completely disconnected from that other type of perception. You're not going to perceive it because you're just not, you're at another level. So there actually is an actual level of perception where there's things that are going to be right in front of you that people are doing, but you are not going to see it because you are above that. You're way above that. And that's why all narcissists, all gangstalkers are pretty much in the same dimension, because because of how they perceive themselves, they can understand each other. They see how they indirectly speak to each other. That's why they speak this other language, because I never learned that language. I use it when I purposely try, but it takes me so much work because I don't have time to be comparing myself to other people. I don't care. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you do. That's your business. If you want to compare yourself to me, whatever, that's you. I just compare myself to me, and that's all I care about. And I don't care who you are, what you do. If there's something about you that I admire, even if I hate you, I admire the aspect of you. But that's it. But I can see talent where it's merited, where people have actually developed something that is beautiful, that is worth admiring, then yeah, by all means. But I'm never gonna be like, oh, he knows how to DJ and I don't. I am such an awful and miserable person, whatever. Or this person has a beautiful apartment and I live in my car. Oh my God, how awful. No, I never, for a while I did when I was growing up. But as I have become to understand narcissist and gang stalking, that's why they had to lower my self-esteem first. That's why they lower your self-esteem first. If they would have never lowered my self-esteem in the first place, I would have never even noticed that I was getting gang stalked. In the beginning, when I was getting gang stalked, I had been getting gang stalked for forever, man. I had these people attacking me, and the thing is that my self-esteem and my entire persona was at a completely other dimension. It was at a whole nother level, where all these underhanded compliments, all these things to try to naked my self-esteem, I was unfazed by them. I never even saw them, because my self-confidence was never that low. But when they were able to lower my confidence, then I saw it. Then I understood it. Only then I was able to see what they were trying to do. And this is why gang stalking is not as effective anymore, because I am everything that my self-esteem was suffering, because I have been working on everything that made me feel bad about myself. I'm perfecting myself to my standard. So everything that I care about, I'm working on, and I'm developing it to where I am proud of it. And just by doing that, any type of indirect message that I see, such as the shopping cart, such as the water bottle, such as the colors, every single thing that the gang stalkers have thrown at me, it doesn't work anymore. Because I am going back to my dimension where I belong, where my self-esteem is not, where I don't care about their perception of me. Because I have my own perception of me, and my own perception is the only one that I care about, not theirs. And that is why gang stalking doesn't work if you have the utmost respect for yourself. I feel like I'm such a badass because I have gotten all these things thrown at me by so many people, and I'm still here. I'm sane as I have ever been, and I'm working to get better. And nothing is gonna change that. That's just who I am. And I strongly believe that that's how you should be too. Because the moment your self-perception starts depending on everyone else, they can get together to tell you that they have an awful perception of you. And therefore, you're gonna start believing that's true. That's what gang stalking is. It's a game of perceptions. But the moment that you stop caring, that you start treating yourself with respect, when you start winning, when you start following through with your own plans, everything's gonna change. Even though they might still be nagging you, like they're nagging me when I was in my car. It's just gonna be a dumb game. Gang stalking now is just a dumb game. Like because I went through it. That whole thing is just like boop. It's like a little tiny thing that is just like, before when it swallowed me whole. But now it's like a little dot that I can just be like, and then I just move on. And that is the best feeling. So gang stalking will only get as big as you allow it to be. Later on, we're gonna talk about like the 10 Commandments, and we can get like into religious stuff, But right now, pretty much, I'm showing you everything that I know, and I'm talking about the most recent aspects of it. We're gonna get into theory, we're gonna get into spiritual, but right now, I am pretty much figuring out all the psychological aspects, because those are the ones that are freshest in my mind, and I have to tell you about them now before I forget them or before they become blurry. So please be patient. But yeah, this is gonna be the most full of information channel that you're gonna ever meet, to be gang stalking, and then just to stay away from people who are toxic, It's funny how toxic people find each other, isn't it? But that's exactly why they hang out together, because they speak the same language. All of them have that in common. That is the glue that ties them together. That their perception of themselves is completely depending on how others see them. So if you shine in any way, shape, or form, they're gonna see you as a threat. Therefore, you're gonna be a target. Period. That's what makes a target a target. I'm so sure of it. And they're gonna try to take everything away from you that makes them feel threatened by you. And that should make you freaking proud. Because now, the more you shine, the worse they're gonna feel about themselves. And like, you have to be so goddamn amazing, they're gonna have to fucking hate themselves. Isn't that hysterical? That's fucking hysterical. By the way, I got that from MPGIS, the most popular girls in high school, where the girls are trying to be models, and they're like, I'm gonna teach you how to be so damn attractive that they're gonna fucking hate themselves. Watch it, it's hysterical. But yeah, so in conclusion, you were a target because you are at a complete other level, and everything about you is perceived as a threat by them. It can be your spirit, your character, your energy, your eyes, your hair, your teeth, your abs, your ass, your legs, anything and everything. Your personality, the voice that you have, how you express yourself, your spirit, your intelligence, your tenacity, everything. All of that, all the gifts that God has given you is a threat to them. And that's why you were targeted. Why do you think that's exactly why they're attacking you? They're attacking you to take those things that they perceive as threats away from you. That's exactly what they're doing. That's why they try to make me a drug addict, a whore, they've actually enjoyed to make me really tired so that my dick won't get hard. They've tried to, I think that's why they have had me like to hook up with like black guys with like huge penises so that my hole will be are ruined. But let me tell you, I'll do a lot of squats and my hole is just like it's like an unglazed, really tight donut, believe it or not. Anyways, I'm so sorry about that. That was way too much information. Anyways, so everything about you, you know, they're gonna try to take away everything. Your looks, and that's why whenever I look like shit, I saw them recording me, taking pictures, because they're enjoying, that's their little victories. So that's why you were targeted. Because you being alive is a threat to them. And they want to take everything that God has given you away from you. So your job is to be lustrous, to be as beautiful as you possibly can, to be hardworking, to be incredible, to be powerful, to be tenacious, to be the biggest, truest expression of who you are. And I cannot wait to see you shine. Thank you so much for watching.